Are these not the people that wanted to kill Jesus? I'm trying to show you how hypocritical and confused these guys are. These were the people who were trying to kill Jesus when Jesus called God his Father. The Bible says they said you are making yourself equal. They themselves now say, God is our Father too. You see why you cannot base your spiritual walk on what people are saying, because some of the people who are saying you are doing this God thing too much, they are not serious. So the only reason they are saying those things is because they wish they were you, but they cannot, because your righteous living judges them anytime they see you. You make them feel incomplete. So they say you are doing this thing too much. Even you now started reducing it, or you started explaining. Next time when somebody tells you you are doing this God thing too much, tell them I have not started. Say like this. Me, that if you ask me now, I'm still feeling like God needs to help me, and you say I'm doing it too much, just wait. I'm still begging him to help me. When he helps me, you will understand. I was telling some of us the other day a story. The guy who came to the house to see how he can help me do one or two things. There's nothing serious like that. I just discovered at one point that some of my clothes, they were not buttoning very well again. And I didn't want it to continue, so we needed to do some workout. So I got a gym instructor. So he came to my house, and while we were talking, he now said, and if you see him, his stomach is so flat. He now said, Pastor, me I dey chop. I dey chop any kind of food. I say, you dey chop like this? Say yes. I say, me I know dey chop. I say, you know, say times day where I dey fast. I was telling him, I fast so and so number of days without eating anything, and I just drink only water. He now spoke his language, something in his language. I said, Jesus. You know what he said? Which kind of sin I don't commit like that? He said, I have never, he was telling me that he has never fasted in his life. Then one of the days we were now doing exercise. While the thing was going on, he just stopped. This time he didn't call me pastor. He said, Daddy, please, when I come on Saturday, if we finish exercise, I want to sit down and talk. Problem. I get plenty problem. A man who is saying that I'm fasting too much, that which kind of sin is that man now that he wants to help him to solve his problems? The people who think you are doing too much, they are the ones that will still come back to look for solution from you when the rubber hits the road. Keep doing what you are doing. When the time comes, it's the same people that will come and meet you for answers. The same people that persecuted Jesus were the ones that one of them came, called Nicodemus in John chapter 3. When he smuggled himself, he came by night. He didn't want to come in the daytime so that people will not see him. He said, let me tell you something, sir. Say, we know. He didn't say, I know. John chapter 3, from verse 1. Look at this. Quickly, please. If I can, I'll come back there. If not, then we'll pray. He said, there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. He's one of their guys. The same came to Jesus by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know. We do what? We know. These are the people that are calling him Beelzebub. These are the people that are calling him glutton. These are the people that were attacking him and looking for ways to kill him. We know. He was not speaking for himself. He knows the kinds of conversations that they have had. So imagine that Jesus decided to pipe low and say, all these persecutions are too much. I can just live my life normally and be fine. No, the people who are saying these things, they know. They are telling you that you are praying too much. They know. The day they really need answers, they know who to come to. We know that thou art a teacher sent from God, for no man can do these miracles except God be with him. They know. They will come. While the disciples were busy in the upper room and they were praying for the number of days that they were there and doing all of the things that they were doing, other people were living their lives doing anything. When they came out, 3,000 were saved. It wasn't long. All those people that were doing all of those things came and brought they sold lands and brought the money and kept it at the disciples' feet. So if there's anybody that we can trust, forget all the things they are telling you that wants to affect your prayer life. They know. The things you are seeing, who is showing you? You know tonight, every one of us is doing what our Father is doing. How you will know who your Father is look at what you do. That's not a problem. I'm just telling you that now that you know that you are looking at the wrong Father, can you be intentional by changing who your Father is? It's the things I see my Father do. That's what I do. All of those suggestions that come into your flesh, what the devil is simply trying to do is that he wants you to change allegiance. He wants you to turn towards him. So that what we have is the degraded version of what God has made. So every one of us is aligned to a spirit. Yes. Question is just which spirit. You're not doing anything by yourself. Because by nature, by default, you are not an original being. Remember when the devil came through Peter? Jesus had finished speaking. Then Peter took Jesus and rebuked him. And Jesus looked at Peter. And he didn't say, "Get behind me, Peter." He said what? "Get behind me, Satan." Mind you, Peter did what he did not out of jealousy. It wasn't out of envy. You would even call it human love. It was love. The only problem with that love is that it was not in alignment with the divine counsel of God. And when Peter said what he said, with what he thought was him loving Jesus, Jesus turned and looked at him and said, "Get behind me, Satan." And you would have thought that the statement that would have followed that is, "For thou servest not the things that be of God, but the things that be of the devil." But that's not what Jesus said. He said, "Thou servest not the things that be of God, but the things that be of who? Men." Because when the devil wants to do his things, he hides behind men. And that word to serve is the same thing, like I said in Colossians chapter 3, to set your affection. Is what you behold. It's what you behold. Somebody needs to make up their mind tonight that I'm going to find my true alignment. I'm going to keep my focus on the right one. Because all of these things that we are beholding, that is sponsoring all kinds of things that is not consistent with the counsel of God, we are no longer reflecting the one who created us. We are reflecting a different vessel. No wonder it looks difficult. We can no longer see God manifest himself. It's so hard to imagine the manifestations of God. In fact, it's so terrible that these days when you hear miracles, you are doubting it. This is too good to be true. How can you say? If only you know who you are. You were not made after your own order. You were made in the order of the God kind. Is it not said, ye are gods, to whom the word of the Lord is sent to, and the scriptures cannot be broken? To a very large extent, what we have is the degraded version of our true possibilities. One day, Jesus who came into time, Jesus himself that came to manifest himself in time with a mission. He knew what God sent him to do. When it was now the time for manifestation, Jesus, his own body began to give him signals. Signals to rebel. That was the devil coming. Because he told us, he said, the prince of this world, he cometh, and what? He finds nothing. It was about the same time. So it was the enemy that had come, and he was suggesting things. I came to tell you that those things are not your thoughts. It's the enemy. You are a reflective being. You are just a mirror. Turn to the Lord. One of the things that made you so bitter is because somebody offended you and you have been meditating on that thing for a long time. And for as long as your eyes is on it, all kinds of emotions are rising. You see? It's the communicator. Because you are a mirror element and you have fixed your gaze on that, strange emotions are coming. Can you leave that hurt and turn to the Lord? Can you leave the disappointments and turn to the Lord? Turn to the Lord. Turn to the Lord. So Jesus took himself and went to the Garden of Gethsemane. Because these are some of the things that God has given to us. And we have already seen one in Matthew chapter 4. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. That's one. We see another one in Luke 18. Men ought always to do what? It's not that men ought to pray. Men ought always. He knows that we are in time. He knows how noisy time can be. If you give yourself to it, over time you will realize that the limitations of time will also begin to affect you. So that even though ye are gods, you will begin to accept the persons of the wicked, according to Psalms 82. You will begin to judge unjustly. And he's asking, how long? How long? So the moment you begin to realize that there's too much noise in your soul and you cannot even pick his words anymore, find your way to the Garden of Gethsemane. And you know, when we get there, you don't go there and sound like you came for a crusade. No. Sometimes the reason why you are still at the level where you are is that when you come before God, instead of you to tell him what is going on, you come there in all the rubbish that you have absorbed, with all of the nonsense and the filth. You think it is by bold speakings. You who just finished doing nonsense, now you came and say, I am not my own. I've been bought with it. That's true. But God wants you to tell him what is going on. And you know what Jesus did? Jesus said, if it be thy will, let this cup pass over me. Father, but not my will. Because when we come to pray, we don't come to enforce our will. We come to lay our will down and take up his. Let your will be done. There are some times that when you go to pray, the things you are subjecting yourself to, you will live there, you will not live there excited. But guess what? You will live there satisfied. Because the things you will end up submitting to there are not the things you want. But you know that this is what he wants. Lord, the other time I went out, this person spoke to me in a very terrible way. And he offended me. And for the past 1 month, I've been bitter. That's not a time to come and say, you will say that one, but first, say it as it is. Lord, I've been angry. I've been hot. And in fact, let me even tell you, I expected you to have done something about this thing. The day that person said that thing, me, I even wanted you to just intervene, let something. But it's not about me. Let your will be done. There's something I want and it's not consistent with what you want. But that's why you are God. And I'm not here to enforce what I want on you. I'm here to take up what you want on me. When the Bible says, when it shall turn to the Lord, this is what it's talking about. Lord, I thank you for how you helped me last year. I saw how you took me through seasons. You taught me to love your word. You taught me to pray. You taught me to love people. But I don't know what's happening to me right now. It seems as if I'm encumbered with much serving. And the one thing that is needful is being choked. Can you do something about this matter? In my heart. That's how Jesus survived. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. I'm going through certain seasons, and the only thing that is coming right now is fear. But please, can you help me know? Can you help assure my heart that you are with me on this journey? I'm trying to show you how to be spiritual again, because some of us have adopted tongues and we have lost spirituality. So we speak many things, but we are not still aligned. He said, when I go through the fire, I will not be burnt. He said, when I go through the water, they will not drown me. He said, you will be with me. Lord, I think I'm going through the waters now. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. You are struggling to pray? James said it. He said, is anyone afflicted? Let him do what? Let him pray. So sometimes the kind of prayers you pray in affliction may not be like you would have prayed if everything was okay. He said, is anyone merry? Let him seek. Either ways, whether in affliction or in merriment, there is a call to fellowship. And just in case your own is not affliction, he now went further to say, just in case it is now sickness, You know what that means? It has shifted. Now, this one, you are down to the point that you cannot even say anything. You are weak. He said, call for the elders. Let them pray. Find the place where prayer is happening and just stay there. Say, I cannot pray. Call your friends. Call people. You know what we are doing when we do these things? We are reflective beings. But for the most part, the days when we are weak, that's the day you don't want to come to church. So how are you going to find help? Say, I don't feel like. Call the elders. Help me, help me. I can't die like this. If there's one thing I cannot afford to do, I cannot afford to reflect another other than the God who created me. I am weak in myself. Let your will be done. The reason our spiritual journeys are successful is not because we are always strong. No. Because even God knows it. That's why he gave us the avenues to see to it that even in the moments when you cannot say anything, can we just have other people around? Can you listen to messages? Can you lock the door? Put worship songs and put them on repeat and let the words of those songs keep soaking into your spirit until your perspective is realigned again. And you can see the one who is invisible. Set your affections on the things that are above. I will follow you step by step, everywhere. Ya Yesu kene aske. In the kabihanya nazambi. Ya Yesu. In the kabir. Ya Yesu kaine. In the kabir. In the kabir I am not zombie.